a girl who was blind and deaf with big dreams. This biography is about Helen Keller by Sagun. Helen Keller's life was dark and lonely. Helen Keller was born normal. Then all of a sudden, when she was 18 months old, she developed a strange fever. A few days later, her fever was gone. After that, Helen was sleeping and her mom, Kate Keller, found out that Helen was blind. Soon after, her mother found out she was deaf too. Her parents took her to so many doctors, but everywhere they went, there was no way to cure Helen. That is when the Kellers came to realize that Helen was going to stay in dark silence forever. Then Helen Keller started to make signs that helped people understand what she wanted. When she was 5 years old, her sister Mildred was born. Helen did not like Mildred. Helen Keller was getting very wild, so her parents finally decided to get Helen a teacher to train her. Annie Sullivan was Helen's teacher. Annie taught her the finger alphabet and sign language. Helen Keller and her parents thought that Helen's life would be nothing, however, found out new things that she could do. Helen Keller inspired so many deaf and blind people to do things that they never thought they could do. For instance, Helen Keller was the first blind and deaf person to ever graduate from college. She graduated from Radcliffe College. Helen also wrote books about her life. One book is The Story of My Life. She also starred in the movie Deliverance. Years later, Helen Keller won Oscar for the best documentary film, The Unconquered. Later, in 1964, she very proudly received the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Helen Keller was very persistent. Helen Keller had an amazing long life. She did things that weren't really her goal, and those things were amazing. When Helen was about 9 years old, she learned to speak with her mouth. She can also write. She writes square hand script. After Helen graduated from college, she began giving lectures all over the world. Later, her teacher died, and then she lived by herself. Many years later, Helen Keller died in her sleep on June 1st, 1968, but she is still honored for all of her amazing achievements.